This topic is called Be Not Fearful in the Face of Adversity. Colossians 3:17, and whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Shem HaMashiach Yahushai, giving thanks to the Abanawa Yahweh by him. All praise to the Heavenly Father. So this topic is called Be Not Fearful in the Face of Adversity. We need to be not fearful because we have a power that's going to protect us throughout anything that comes on this earth. And if we're fearful, he is not going to protect us. So when we go to Isaiah 43:1, it reads, Isaiah 43:1, it reads, But now thus saith the Most High that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name. Thou art mine. And so when you see this, the Most High commands us not to fear, for I have redeemed you. He said that he had called us by name. He said, you are mine. So he commands us not to worry. The words do not fear or fear not is used over and over in the Bible. Approximately it is used 80 times in the Bible or more. Mostly because he knows that the enemy uses fear to decrease our hope and limit our victories. Let's go to Isaiah 41:10. Isaiah 41:10. It reads, Fear thou not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am the Most High. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. So the Most High is going to uphold us with his righteousness. You see? When a lot of you brothers and sisters come into this truth, the first thing that happens to you is you have a joyful spirit. Something you never experienced in your life overwhelms you. I want to go to Ezekiel chapter 3. Let's go to Ezekiel 3. Let me show you what he's talking about. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 1. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, eat thou roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel. So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. So he's telling us that the spirit is going to overwhelm us. It's going to be a joyful spirit. He says it's going to enter into our belly. Our belly is our mind. And when it goes into our mind, you're going to be overwhelmed with joy, overwhelmed with truth. The scales on your eyelids are going to fall off, and you're going to be able to see clearly. This is what he's saying. But then a spirit of disappointment comes over you when the world does not receive you because they have not the joyful spirit of truth from the Most High. When you read Ezekiel 4, it reads, And he said unto me, Son of man, go, get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech, and of a hard language, but to the house of Israel. So the Most High is telling us to go out and teach the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, the Negroes, the Latinos, and the Native American Indian descent. We are not considered black Hebrew Israelites. We are considered a nation of people, of many tribes and companies. Let's go to Genesis 35. We're going to start at verse 10. And the Most High said unto him, Thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Yasharallah, Israel. And the Most High said unto him, I am the Most High Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. So he's talking about 12 tribes are going to be considered 12 nations. Each nation is going to be a company. And so with this, he's telling us that we are diverse. He tells us that we are as a speckled bird. You look at a speckled bird has many colors. We are various shades of brown, according to the scriptures. Okay? Various shades of brown. So when the Most High tells us that, we have to understand that the Most High is pulling the 12 tribes of Israel of Negroid, Native American Indian, and Latino descent. Okay? We have to understand that the Most High wants us to get this understanding of who we are as a people, regardless of what's going on in this world, regardless of tactics of fear, regardless of mockery and scoffing. We have to understand that the Most High wants us to get this truth because it is a joyful truth that's going to carry our spirits into the next world, which is the world of Jacob. All right, let's go back to Ezekiel chapter 3. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 7. But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impotent and hard-hearted. These are our brothers and sisters in the 12 tribes of Israel. They don't want this. They have been brainwashed being in this country for so long. They don't understand who they are. They don't understand the world of the Most High. They don't understand what they've been taught has been wronged all these years in the churches. They don't understand what was missing was the commandments of God, the Most High. So we have to teach them. We have to teach our people who they are, where they come from. Yes, identity is important. Yes, race is important on who we are. Nationality is important. Okay, we are not the tribe of Shabazz. You can't even find history on the tribe of Shabazz anywhere. We are the nation of Israel that have been lost and scattered into an exile world. Verse 8. Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and thy forehead strong against their foreheads. He's talking about this truth that we have is overwhelmingly powerful, and no one can withstand this understanding that we have. For pound, we will win every conversation when it comes to the truth. As an adamant ant harder than flint have I made thy forehead. Fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, all my words that I shall speak unto you, receive in thine heart, and hear with thine ears. So this spirit that the Most High gives us, he's speaking these words. He wants you to know that, rest assured, you are covered in your belief in his truth. We are in a country where our forefathers have been waxing old and been disregarded, and they themselves have disregarded the laws of the Most High because of the nations that dwell around us. They have for years taken our name and our glory. They have lied to us about our God, our Savior, who will redeem us. They control the media, jobs, and banks. They scorn you with loan approvals for housing and credit cards. They mock us in schools and churches and public places. But we have peace in our hearts that they can't get. But they want it so bad that they can't receive it. Have you ever noticed that? When you look at the things that are going on in the earth, for example, there's so many heroes that we have thought were Caucasian in this country. For example, the Lone Ranger. I always thought that the Lone Ranger was a white man with a mask and Tonto was his sidekick. Now the information is coming out that the Lone Ranger was a so-called black man. And it matches perfectly. Now I understand why you had a Negro and a Native American Indian working together with trust. It's the perfect fit. So all of these lies we've been getting all these years, we thought was the truth, and it wasn't. And to know the truth is such a warming feeling to know that the Most High is showing us all these things in these times, and we haven't even seen the whole iceberg yet. Like a old Edomite man told me, and because he was getting old, he didn't care what he told me. He said, "You ain't seen nothing yet. There's a whole lot of stuff that y'all don't know about that they done did to you." He said they, and he's one of them. He said that they done did to y'all. He said, "You just wait." He said, "Oh yeah, you just wait." This is what he told me. I talk to old people, and I listen and I observe. And a lot of them, when they get old and get close to dying, they tell you everything about the past and the future. And so we have to understand that living here in this country, we have been lied to. When you look at how they do us in this land, they want our spirit so bad, they can't understand how they can get it. Because we keep coming up with new things. Every generation, it never fails. We always come up with something new. So they try to taint your spirit by pushing drugs into your communities. Now they done destroyed the communities with gentrification. Our brothers and sisters are scattered all over the place now. We are no longer in clusters in black communities and Latino communities. We're scattered. There's very few compounded groups of us in certain areas now. And they destroy us with their images. And the foods, these foods, they weaken our spirits. They plant weapons on us. They give themselves an opportunity, every chance they can, they give themselves an opportunity to belittle us with the racist propaganda. We have to understand that we have to maintain the Most High's truth. We have to maintain His understanding. Let's go to Philippians chapter 4. This is what we have taught for years and years. The truth is undefeated. You wonder why we keep pressing in this truth. Because we know it's the truth. And we know that it's powerful. And we know that it protects us. Philippians chapter 4 verse 6. Be careful for nothing, but in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto the Most High. And the peace of the Most High, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Hamashiach Yahushua. Now we know what conquers fear, being in this truth now. It has been here all along and has made herself known for these trying times. Something that the churches have never had. This is something that the churches have never had. This is why our understanding has always been dimmed. Let's go to 1 John. Most High said in Hosea chapter 4 and 6 that my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. We have had a lack of knowledge all these years. But now we're waking up to who we are. And now you're starting to see things change. They just implemented a new law to make a people a race. I don't know if y'all been paying attention to that. Now, why are they doing that? Because this truth is coming out. This truth is coming out, and the facts in the Bible and history are showing who the real Jews are. And showing who we are according to our Bible, our history, our ethnicity, the way that we do things, the way we've experienced these curses in this land. The arrows all are pointing to us as being the Israelites. So they're trying to stop it as quickly as possible and to demonize us. 1 John chapter 4 verse 18. 1 John chapter 4 verse 18, and it reads, there is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear. Now we know what the perfect love is. We never knew what the perfect love was, but now we do. What is perfect love? Keeping His commandments and the testimony of Hamashiach. Now we know what it is. Because fear hath torment. He that feareth is not made perfect in love. See that? All you brothers and sisters who fear what's going on in the world, do not be afraid. I don't have to, when something happens in the world for Lions Roar, I don't have to call brothers and be, hey, maintain yourself. I don't have to do that. Because the brothers in Lions Roar, we know that when we see this stuff happening on TV, not to fear. I don't have to make video after video, trying to assure the brothers and sisters. Because they already know. We're in that time. We have to stay strong in these times. You need to be independent in this truth. Independent, not being by yourself, but independent in your faith to stay strong. Brotherhood and sisterhood, companionship is always there. You pick up the phone and call, but there's going to be a time where you ain't going to be able to do that. So we have to understand that we have to be non-wavering and constantly pushing this word to understand the magnificent glory of the Most High. Verse 19, we love him because he first loved us. If a man say, I love the Most High, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen, how can he love the Most High whom he hath not seen? And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth the Most High love his brother also. So, all you brothers and sisters need to get with the program and know that the Most High is going to redeem you and protect you. Let's go to Proverbs 29:25. You don't need to always, if you're already prepared, if you've already got the tools, you don't have to go and, oh, brother, did you see what they did? Oh, we need to put a video up on this. Oh, you should already be sound in your faith. That's why brothers, why Lions Roar didn't put nothing up? We don't have to. We're sound in our faith. We know who we are. You don't see us jumping all over the place, changing our doctrine or anything. We're staying the same. It's a beautiful thing when brothers build on a strong foundation of the Most High by Hashem HaMashiach Yahushua. Let's go to Proverbs 29:25. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 25. The fear of man bringeth a snare. This is going to go on for the rest of your life while you're in this place. Get ready. Just be ready for it. It's going to be on TV. It's going to be on the media. They're going to slander you. They're going to do everything. Just be ready for it. Don't be afraid. Think about Yahushua, how he was moving systematically through Jerusalem. He didn't go into Judea until the festivals came about. He knew that they was watching him. They was trying to slander his name. All the way up until the day of his death. When they came and got Yahushua in the Mount of Olives, the Roman centurions arrested him because he allowed them to. But when Peter sliced off the ear of the servant to the Roman centurions, I believe his name was Marcus, his ear fell to the ground. Yahushua quickly put it back on his head and said, do you know what you do? You're going to disrupt the prophecies. Now, if he had left it on the ground, do you know that Negroes and Native American Indians would think that they were justified in doing wickedness and killing people? Yahushua already knew about these times. He knew that he had to put that ear back on that man to show this is not the time to be destroying the other nations, Gentiles, or even our brethren. This is not the time. There's going to be a time, but it's not going to be for us. Yahushua is going to come and do it. When you read Isaiah 63, he tells you he came by himself. Let's go there. To destroy the nations. The Most High is going to send him on the earth, not as a man. And he's going to set in order all these systems and lies. He's going to set everything in place. He didn't want to show us that it was all right to do what Peter did. Take out your sword and slice somebody's ear off. It's not that time. It'll never be that time until the kingdom ends and the new kingdom begins. Isaiah 63:1. Who is this that cometh from Edom? Where is Edom? All over the world now. With dyed garments from Basra. This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Now, why did I say that Edom is all over the world? When you read Job 9 and 24, what does he say? He says that the earth is in the hands of the wicked. The whole earth is in the hands of the wicked. Okay? Verse 2 of Isaiah 63 and 2. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat? I have trodden the winepress alone. What is the winepress? It's where you step in a bucket full of grapes with bare feet, and you stomp it with your feet to and fro. So he's going to do the nations this way. That's why he mentioned Edom, because Edom is now all over the world. They are the wicked that Job 9 and 24 speaks about. They have made themselves judges and hidden the judges of the Bible. They have hidden the faces of Israel. And of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger. So he said, none of us are going to be with him. He's going to be ahead of us. He says, I will tread them in my anger and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment, for the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. So who's coming back to trample the nations? This Yahushua. This Yahushua. He's coming back to do it. That's why he says in Romans 12 and 19, what does he say? It's the reason for him saying these scriptures and these precepts all link up. Romans chapter 12, verse 19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves. See that? But rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Most High. This is what he tells us. Therefore, if thine enemy hunger, feed him. All your enemies, you got to feed them. Take care of them. If he thirst, give him drink. For in so doing, thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. Well, he's talking about the other nations too, not just your brother. When he said, for in so doing, thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head. You know what that means? They're going to be in amazement that you ain't going to do what they would normally do to you. Here you are being kind to them, and they're your enemies. That's why he said, I will repay that. This is not the time to take things out on your own heads. That's why everybody who raises a gun or a knife to the enemy dies. None of them make it. That's not what the Israelites are about. The Israelites are all about teaching the law, statutes, and commandments. That's what we're about. And in the name of Hamashiach Yahushua. That's what we've always been about. Let's go to 2 Esdras chapter 13, verse 1. And it came to pass after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. Who is that man? Isaiah 63 and 1. This is Yahushua coming back. The thousands of heaven are his angels. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth felleth when it filleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven. These are the mighty armies, the four winds of the heavens, to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, government, and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. He couldn't understand where he was at. All right? It was not a place that he was familiar with in Jerusalem. And after this, I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which were prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Esdras said he was afraid. So Yahushua is coming back to destroy. He is the right arm of the Most High. He's coming back to destroy the enemy. That's why he said, don't fear. Keep his commandments. That's what's going to save us in those days. Okay? So keep your strength. Stay strong, Israel. Shalom.